to rejoin with us today. We had a slight glitch at the start there, unfortunately. 5 drivers at the back of the grid being disqualified to reasons that only Codemasters knows. So we're back. We've reset the grid. It's exactly the same as it was before. I do ask you, if you're listening to this stream, please wait before you ready up. People will be trying to find their setups and make sure that they've got them. It is rotten luck if you're forced to do, 20 odd laps of this track with a setup that is entirely unsuitable for the car and isn't practiced. So please be respectful to your other drivers and give it a minute before we're settling in. But fingers crossed we are up for a good race. And of course, I still have the man himself, Simba, next to me, ready to commentate. It was a bit of an interesting start, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was very, very random. 5 people disqualified off the starting grid. Like, wow, well done, Codemasters.
It is, yeah. This is why I'm glad I've got a co-com with me, because it's the type of thing that could have gone completely ignored by me off the first lap as I'm looking at, cars going wheel to wheel, and all of a sudden, oh no, we've lost a good quarter of our grid. So very glad that we can get them back here, and we are just waiting for the drivers now to take formation and line up on the formation lap. Remember, you have a completely free choice of tyres this year, so it doesn't matter what you started on last time, you can change. Let's see if anybody has changed their mind as I'm going up that tyre data.
I know one person that's made a change, so I'm just going to have a look at it now.
Who's that?
RFC Danny has changed his livery.
Ah, has he? Let's have a look at RFC Danny. Oh, he was...
That's an improvement.
It is. He's moved away from Max and gone to an homage to the old Golf McLaren livery. So it's not a bad little change. I think we could.
I like that. I'll give that credit. I could stop ripping him now for using the Max Verstappen Miami Red Bull.
That's good. And the only other change I can see, because I have got the other grid up in front of me, a lot of drivers have opted for softs. So Johnny Smooth starting on the softs this time. DRS Neil, our pole sitter, has decided I want to be on softs, something a little bit different to those other drivers around me. Anybody else changed? A couple more racer drivers. I think Dumbest Hornet was starting on the mediums. He's moved to the softs. Donny, the only driver to stick with a pair of hards right at the start, so he's hoping that there are no early safety cars and we can take them as long as possible.
Definitely a brave man going for the hards. Maybe he's going to run hard to soft.
Yeah, like you can do that, and as you said, it's sometimes it's nicer to have the racier tyre towards the end of the race, but you got to make sure that you're at least in a DRS train or something. We've been the last 2 tracks I've been to, Bahrain and Saudi, do sort of benefit those who can stay in a DRS train. Australia, I'm not quite sure so much. There's a lot of tight, twisty sections where if you just don't have that grip, you can find those soft runners getting away from you fairly quickly. So really interesting to see what happens. Right, so we go again. Last few drivers are making their way towards the grid. I'm going to stay back on board with Smith, and fingers crossed we'll be able to get racing on the second attempt here at Melbourne.
Well, let's hope so. God, I love the glitches with the new game.
Impressive as there's... Oh, who's that trying to make their way into their slot? Dennis Hornet magically magnetised himself to the grid. Smith lining up, and here we are.
He's doing it again. I've just had a load of messages saying people have been disqualified.
Yep, let's see what happens when we go off the grid, and we are away. Has anybody been disqualified? It's not coming up yet on my screen, so fingers crossed we're okay for the moment. Richie has been disqualified, Lorpy disqualified, Smith and Dumbest Hornet, so it's 4 drivers this time.
This is ridiculous.
This is ridiculous. Do we want to go again, or do we want to keep on racing as DRS Neil gets a really good start there, gapping the rest of the field about a second there as Chris Bailey. Not by a second. Look at all of those as we go through that second sector. Single track, 3-second time penalty already. Biff, 3-second time penalty already. So clearly somebody's gone wide. Something's happened there at the back. Look at the gap DRS Neil has up the front, 1.5 seconds.
That's a mental gap. Unless they're all expecting us to just bail it again. I'm just trying to get hold of the race director to see what they think.
Yeah, no, that's fine. We will keep on racing. Of course, we don't want to just keep on restarting. If this is a glitch that is happening, then we are very sorry for it. Confetti Craig and Kid Dynamite are going to stay on board. Confetti looking up the inside. Does he want to go for a move? No, decides not. All these drivers are going very wide at the back there. I think it's RFC Danny, and it is Johnny Smooth who pounces up into 9th place. He just got on off the track onto the render strips, no grip there, and will fall back into 10th position. So Neil, top of the pack at the moment with a 129.5. As expected, he will be purple for now. But I think it's the other race behind him. He's got the right car behind him as far as he's concerned. Saviour on the softs will be desperate to get past Chris Bailey and get up the road to that other man, because without it he's going to suffer. Kid Dynamite and Confetti going side by side as a G-Stars through. He's almost muscled his way past there. Kid lost the rear end, but he was able to keep it pointing in the right direction. And Scottish Ninja's out as well. He's retired from the session. It might be reduced safety cars, but that still means it brought out our first one of the day. So 2 laps gone, 15 cars remain. You are in with a shout of points. You're always in with a shout of points in MRCX, but yeah, even more than you'd expect with the field depleted already.
It's just mental. 4 people disqualified for nothing. 5 people the first time.
Yeah, and I'm trying to see what it is or what would have triggered that, who those drivers were, because it's not everyone at the back of the grid. So Biff's in 18th, Richie and Smith are behind. But yeah, I wonder if there's a slight glitch or people are jumping around, or I saw Dumbest Hornet, he'd had a little incident on the safety car lap, so he had to get into his grid position in a slightly odd way. But for now, our focus is just on the safety car. Nobody taking the opportunity to go into the pits yet. I think that's a smart decision.
Just waiting on the race directors, but we may be red flagging again.
Yeah, it is a shame. We don't want 4 drivers to just go out for no particular reason. And the safety car does give us a little pause, allow us time to make this decision. So do bear with us if you're online. Keep racing, keep warming those tyres. Keep going as if we're going to start, but
I don't think we are. I think we're going to red flag this.
We're going to red flag?
Yeah, maybe you try hosting it this time.
Okay.
In case it's a glitch or something to do with me.
Alright, so if you are listening, I do apologise. We are going to go for our second red flag of the night. I know it's going to be frustrating for a lot of drivers out there. We want you to race. I know that you want to race as well, but fingers crossed we can do it with a full grid. So we will see you very soon in about 5-10 minutes time, and you'll expect the invites from me. Okay everyone, see you in a bit. If I find the